Today I'm making some high fiber muffins. They taste great, they're good for you. You can grab them for breakfast, for a snack on the go, they're good for your digestion, and they're not that hard to make. I just have a couple things left to get ready, and then we'll put it all together. Let's preheat the oven to 375, and let's get going. Okay, I've got all my ingredients ready to go. So starting with my dry ingredients, I have 1.5 cups or 195 grams of whole wheat flour, 3/4 cup or 110 grams of ground flax, 3/4 cup or 80 grams of oat bran, 1/2 cup or 95 grams of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons or 10 grams of baking soda, 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons or 4 grams of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of mace, 1 teaspoon or 7 grams of salt, 1.5 cups of grated carrots, or anywhere from 150 to 200 grams. You could go up to 2 cups. 2 grated apples, around 250 grams. 1 cup or 200 grams of dried fruit. I'm using prunes. 1 cup or 100 grams of chopped nuts. I'm using walnuts. 1/2 cup or 125 milliliters of milk. 2 large eggs. 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of vanilla. And 1/4 cup or 50 grams of oil. So I have all my ingredients organized here by dry ingredients, chunky stuff, and wet ingredients. So we're just going to mix everything in their respective bowls, and then we'll combine it all together. So for your dry ingredients, you're going to take your whole wheat flour, flaxseed, oat bran, brown sugar, baking soda, baking powder, salt, not salt, cinnamon, mace, and here's the salt. We're just going to mix that all up with a whisk. It can take a little work to break up all those chunks of brown sugar, but once you've got everything fairly well incorporated, we can move on to the next bowl, which is our chunky stuff. So we've got our grated carrots, grated apples. Keep your peels on. There's a lot of fiber in the peel of both the carrots and the apples, so don't take that off. Leave it in your muffins. You won't notice it once it's baked. And then a cup of dried fruit. You could use raisins, currants, whatever you like, but prunes are really good, high in fiber, and they keep things moving. And then some walnuts. So you just want to fold it all together. Okay, and then finally we move on to our wet stuff. I'm actually going to do the eggs first. Give them a whisk. And then we're going to add our milk, oil. I'm using canola oil, and vanilla. Whisk that all together. Now we're going to pour this into our fruit and veggies and nuts. Fold it all together. Okay, so typically when you make muffins, you have dry ingredients and you have wet ingredients, and you're going to put them all together. I know this doesn't look like it's wet enough for a muffin, but there's so much moisture in the apples and in the carrots that once it bakes, you're going to have such a moist muffin at the end. So we're going to make a well like you normally would. Just dump this in. And then fold it together. So obviously with muffins, you don't want to work your dough too much, just to the point where you don't see any dry spots. So I'm just going to keep turning this a couple more times. So much good stuff packed in here. Okay, that looks good. I don't see any more dry spots. So this is going to make 12 really big muffins. Anytime I go somewhere and I buy a muffin, they're big and they have big tops. For me, that's most of the appeal of buying a muffin somewhere, is getting it big. So why not just bake them big at home and save yourself some money? I have a muffin scoop here, and it's going to speed up the process, but it's also not big enough to make them the normal size. I'll go through and do 12 of these, and then I divide up what's left of the batter at the end. I might even be able to get 2 scoops into each hole. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. So I've got 1 scoop in each muffin hole, and I'm going through and putting in a second scoop for each one, hoping that it's going to come out even in the end. But if not, I'll borrow from some to fill up the others and we'll get it evened out. I know it looks like a ton of filling in here, and that's because it is. But a lot of muffins, they're more cakey, and so they rise and really spread out when you bake them. These aren't going to spread a whole lot. I actually got 2 scoops in every hole, and I have nothing left over, so it worked out perfectly. The first time I had these muffins was after I gave birth to our first son, and there's such a good way to pack a lot of food into a small package. When you don't have a lot of time, you can just grab one of these, and it's a whole meal unto itself. So I like to have these in the freezer. Every time I've had a baby, I make sure that I make them before the baby comes so that I have breakfast or snacks ready to go. And we have a friend who's having a baby today, and so I thought I'd bake these up for her so that she has something that she can grab when she needs some food too. The oven's preheated to 375, so I'm going to put these in for 20 minutes. They're not quite done yet, so I'm just going to add another 2 minutes to the timer. Thanks for hanging out with me today and baking these muffins with me. Let me know if you try them, and let me know if there's something that you want to see me bake next. If you want to see more content like this, please hit subscribe. See you next time. Bye.